Now, as much as we appreciate Obsidian's work, there's no denying that Fallout New Vegas was, and in many ways still is, kind of a mess, technically, visually.
I'm Doc Mitchell. Welcome to Good Springs.
So much about it looks and feels kind of like a mod of Fallout 3 rather than a full-fledged sequel, which makes sense given how little time they were actually given to make the game. The entire game was made in just 18 months. That is an absolutely insane turnaround for what is often thought of as the best, or at least one of the best games in the entire franchise. How they made Fallout New Vegas in that short of a time and made it this good is a miracle. I mean, there are games that have been cooking for almost a decade, which end up nowhere near as good as New Vegas, even at launch. Well, look, we all know how buggy the game was on day one, but even back then, the crazy ambition and just exhilarating RPG freedom of the game design shone through. After a few years, most of the more glaring bugs got cleared up, but New Vegas was a game that deserved so much more time in the oven than it actually got. And when Obsidian moved on to other projects, the fans and the modding community moved in and staked their claim, and what we have is so much better. Bethesda games are known for their active and dedicating modding scenes. I mean, Skyrim alone has over 70,000 mods on Nexus, and is easily one of the most popular modding platforms of all time, right? Like, if not the most popular. But Fallout New Vegas is not far behind. It may not be quite as popular as the monolithic Skyrim, but the difference is that Fallout New Vegas fans are they're really dedicated, man. What's interesting about New Vegas is just how many mods that are less about completely upending the experience and rebuilding everything, and are more just about making what's already in the game better, strengthening things, because the core is so special, There are plenty of ambitious total conversions in there, but where Skyrim gets ones that transform the game into entirely new things, Fallout New Vegas total conversions try to just expand the world of Fallout as we know it. These guys aren't trying to reinvent the wheel. They don't want something else that gives them a similar vibe. They just want more New Vegas, because arguably there's nothing else in the series that has really created such an open yet compelling and cool world to live in. It's the strength of that world that really keeps people coming back, I think, despite the game's flaws. The shooting, though improved from Fallout 3, still feels kind of anemic in the base game. The world often feels a little flat, character models look rough, certain quest lines and factions can feel undercooked and incomplete, and visually, the game just overall doesn't look that good from a technical standpoint, even compared to Fallout 3. It's just a rough experience, saved by the quality of the writing, the fantastic atmosphere, the brilliant world building, and the open-ended nature of the world, and those RPG elements that hits the perfect balance between making it feel like a journey while, still giving you a lot of room to just go and do whatever you want. That's what people love. They love this stuff, and the many, many mods for the game are mostly about just expanding all that and, making it better. Now, at first, of course, this meant a lot of necessary, needed fixes that untangled weird shit, like the faction system or repairs for quests that often got broken. But slowly but surely, the depth of the available mods on offer really expanded. It blew out. And as the mods increased, the amount of improvements brought into the game by the community expanded. The game just got better and better. I mean, it's at that point now where it's honestly hard to imagine playing the game without mods if you're a PC player. And I say this as someone who's often kind of agnostic about modding. I'll take it or leave it. Sometimes it's awesome. Usually I'm fine just playing the original experience, even in games where it's often considered kind of inferior, but Fallout New Vegas is different, not just because the mods for it are really good, which they are, but because the community has just done such a good job curating the available mods that it's relatively easy to get some massive mod packs working that make the game just significantly better to play, while also managing to feel like perfectly natural extensions of the original game. Maybe it's because New Vegas already kind of felt like a really ambitious mod, like I said, I don't know, but the game just feels right when it's modded up the ass to hell and back. And the improvements are substantial, too. Like they don't have the drawbacks you usually expect from this sort of thing. You download the most ambitious new graphics mod for GTA 5 or something, and it looks good some of the time, but not really, or it just melts your computer. Many mod editions in other games stick out like a sore thumb, and that always kind of bugs me. But with New Vegas, it just seems perfectly balanced for most of them. Like they just make it work. These things just look better, they play better, and they made the game more fun and like a more satisfying experience, especially as someone who's already played the game to death over the last decade. In this video, we're mostly covering two major mod packs with a few digressions along the way. The essential Viva New Vegas and the ridiculous New Vegas mod pack, both of which are pretty simple to install by modern standards at least, and offer a wide variety of improvements to the base experience. Of course, there's much more to explore beyond just improving the game, which we'll get into a little bit more later, but for now, let's just talk about the mod packs. All this stuff, if you want to check it out and do your research, shout out to the modders. It's all linked below. You know, mess around and install at your own risk, of course, but yeah, let's get into it. Now for the novice, these curated compilations of mods take so much of the confusion out of modding the game, because at this point it could be pretty daunting with all of them. It's just the nature of like a decentralized project, like Fallout New Vegas modding community, like the things are gonna get messy. There are so many overlapping engine fixes and background tools and like upgrades and all these little things that need to be applied that you either need to be deeply invested in the modding scene and the game and that world to understand any of it, or you need to follow a very thorough guide to properly mod the game. And that's what Viva New Vegas is. It's like a pre-packaged set of a whopping 114 good mods for New Vegas that are meant to improve the baseline experience. Like, this is supposed to be an enhanced version of New Vegas that mostly sticks to that, quote, original vision without making any massive wild changes to the core gameplay. If all you want to do is just like play a better New Vegas that fixes a lot of the bugs and returns cut content like the water spouts at the Hoover Dam and just generally smooths out a lot of the game's rough edges, then yes, Viva New Vegas is perfect for you. It's still not the easier thing to get working. You still have to sort through 3 separate mod loaders to get everything in proper working order if you want that full experience. But like, look, as long as you just follow the instructions, which are pretty clear and concise about what you actually got to do, like, then you'll be good. Just be sure to start from a clean slate, and in Viva New Vegas's case, do not install Fallout New Vegas in a protected folder like program files. It interferes with some of the steps. Anyway, the entire Viva New Vegas mod pack is not tiny too. Like it's going to take up around 19 gigs of additional hard drive space, which in 2025 is relatively not that bad, but it is more than double what the original New Vegas install size is. So just keep that in mind. Know that going in. Now, if you want to get nuts, which of course is what we wanted to do here, because if you're going to talk about game altering mods, and you might as well go big or go home. We did try out the new Vegas mod collection available on Nexus Mods, and folks, this is crazy. Okay, 823 mods. This single pack has 823 individual mods and over 100 gigabytes of files when it's all unpacked. Where Viva New Vegas sets out to improve what's already there and retain the original experience to a certain degree, New Vegas completely like revitalizes, revamps it. It's so transformative that it practically feels like a remaster or a total remake. Not graphically, because while the mod does make the game look a lot better, you're not really gonna notice it as much as you've already spent a ton of time in the Mojave Wasteland. To anyone coming in for the first time, it just looks like Fallout New Vegas, but really good. Like, you just forget how rough that original game looked. But it's really all the other stuff it brings. Now, getting New Vegas installed is shockingly, for as massive as this thing is, actually pretty painless, as long as you have a premium account in the Nexus. If you don't, then there's going to be a lot of clicking to install new mods, but if you have a premium account, then the mod collection basically installs itself for you. Just download Vortex, the Nexus mod loader, and you're mostly good to go. It's essential with stuff like this to start from a clean slate. Again, a fresh Fallout install with all your old mods purged that could cause conflicts with the new ones. You don't want these things to get all confused. At least for us, there were a few issues that needed to get resolved, which were pretty easy to deal with here. So click through the notifications that pop up and go with the default options, as the collection is already pre-configured, and then you should be good to go. Now, with all of those, again, 823 mods, they're all essential, but a small amount of them are considered optional and can be ignored if you want. But either way, it's going to take a while to get all this stuff installed and properly working, even though it is mostly automated. And if you don't want a collection this massive, then there are alternative versions of the mod, which are more condensed. Oh, yeah, and don't worry about the adult tag on this thing. It's not some, like, porn mod or anything, at least from what we can see. Most of the added adult content is just enhancing or modifying some of the gore and the blood effects. There's, like, one or two vaguely risque things attached that can't be disabled if you want, but they're really no worse than what was already present in the game. Now, unlike Viva New Vegas, which is perfectly fine to jump into with an unmodified save, New Vegas needs you to start a new game, and right from the start, things feel different. There's the usual character creation enhancements, and one pretty ugly UI enhancement that you have to fix if you want to play this thing. The quest tracker that covers half the screen is not good. Get rid of that right away by opening the pause menu and then pressing select to go into the new UI options and then disable the quest tracker. This is really the only major thing I feel like you really have to adjust at the start. Everything else in the game feels just fine. And again, it's all a matter of opinion, but with this whole super enhancement mod, things might not feel all that different, but just give it time. There's a lot of relatively subtle improvements that make the game feel better, like the more responsive Pip-Boy that actually shakes when you press the button and even gives you a little controller rumble when you switch the screens. The third-person camera is so much better now. Your character moves far more realistically, and with the added sprint and massive improvements to the game's shooting mechanics, playing third person actually feels viable now. I love the way your character interacts with the world in this collection. You actually reach out to pick up items and open doors. You skin animals to collect hides, and when you pick up key items and new guns, they play a little animation where your character inspects the weapon or turns the item around in their hand. It's cool. It feels like a big modern game. When you use stim packs, there's actually an animation of injecting it into your arm. These things might be minor in the grand scheme of things, but again, like, they make the experience feel a lot more interactive, a lot bigger. Being able to aim down sights on all weapons is great. The new feedback effects on shooting make firefights feel a bit more visceral and more exciting. Out of everything new added here, the shooting and gunplay, I think, is the real standout. The new weapons are just awesome. The new gun effects and the more responsive aiming, it just makes every shootout feel more dangerous and more like up front. It's really going to be hard to go back to the original game's kind of sluggish old chunky shootouts after this. Now, while graphically it might not look all that different from the base game, there's only so much you can do with this aging engine at this point. There are some cool new visual flourishes, making a lot more moving things in the environment, like swaying trees, flags that actually blow in the wind, and flashing neon signs that actually make the New Vegas Strip look like the flashy slice of old world excess that it was supposed to be. Almost everything across the board has been improved upon with this mod. And while it brings in a lot of new stuff like guns and backpacks, it all feels fairly natural. I know you can argue it's not, quote, the original vision, but it doesn't strike me as out of place. There's not a bunch of stuff in here that feels like it's obviously modded in. It's smooth. Most of the improvements, as wide-ranging as they can be, feel pretty natural. Aside from certain stuff like the new character models, which just sit there alongside the old ones in the character creation menu. Look, even modded to hell and back, New Vegas isn't going to blow away anyone with its graphical fidelity. Like, if you only like games from 2025, you're still going to think this looks old. But these compilations just do a lot to improve the overall look of the game and enhance the performance too. Even massive new additions to the game, like the Nova Arizona mod, which kind of expands the original landmass of the original game further into the east, into the area controlled by Caesar's Legion, all that here, it's still like it runs perfectly and it looks great. The Nova Arizona mod is actually really impressive. It's not just like a lot of new land to look at, it actually adds a ton of new quests with towns and dungeons to explore. The only thing limiting is that there's no actual voice acting yet. All the dialogue is just flat text, but the ambition here it's there, man. Like the new locations look great. You know, when you weigh them on the New Vegas scale, they feel like a natural extension of what's already there. Now, Nova Arizona isn't quite done yet. They do intend to bring in actual voice acting once all the quests are fully implemented, so that mod is still a work in progress in this whole chunk, but it just goes to show how New Vegas's mod scene is still very active, like to this day. It's not even the only massive new expansion coming out for New Vegas in 2025. Another one that just released, seriously, it came out like December the 12th, if you're watching this, it's the Long 15, which does for the NCR what Nova Arizona did for the Legion. It expands the game map into New California Republic territory, and it is an incredibly impressive achievement that just looks incredible. A common theme of Fallout New Vegas modding isn't that it's just ambitious, it's also very professional with like surprisingly well-written dialogue. They often even go into the trouble of like bringing in voice actors who sound a lot better than the voice acting in a mod should be. I remember when I was a kid and all mods, like if they did have voice acting, it sounded like another 13-year-old kid mumbling into a computer mic. Sometimes they'd put in extra effort trying to pitch shift down squeaky voices, but usually that was the best we got. Now, all this stuff, we're getting like these entirely free fan-created expansions for games with full, seemingly professional voice acting. Little me, like my kid mind, would have been blown away seeing something like the Long 15 here. And look, there's so many more amazing mod projects to dig into, be they good or good in big quotation marks. One of the most impressive, but also one of the most absolutely insane is the Frontier. This mod is fairly infamous among Fallout New Vegas fans for how over-the-top stupid it is and how little it actually resembles the world of Fallout. It's more like a post-apocalyptic Call of Duty campaign built in that existing engine. Still, they did some incredible stuff, like have actual drivable vehicles in a Fallout game, and it's also like audacious that I can't help but be amused by the whole thing. But yeah, like it's not like good in the traditional sense. That's for the crazy people to apply. It's maybe the closest thing we'll get to a so bad it's good in New Vegas. Another somewhat divisive one is Fallout New California. This is another mod set in the NCR, and one that doesn't feel consistent with what the original game tells us, but hey, it's still pretty intriguing nonetheless. It's not as insane as the Frontier, but it is no less of an ambitious, wild project with a full story and a new map to explore. We can't talk about modding New Vegas in 2025 without also at least mentioning A Tale of Two Wastelands, the mod that combines New Vegas and Fallout 3 into one super huge game. It is pretty amazing how we've come full circle. The first Fallout New Vegas and basically a huge mod of Fallout 3, albeit, you know, an official one. Now, because New Vegas is the more popular and stable game on PC, Fallout 3 is like a mod for New Vegas. 15 years after the game originally came out, and New Vegas modding is as popular and vital as ever. Some of the biggest and like the best mods the game has ever seen have come out recently. And in 2025, we finally got the most necessary mod of all time. Someone finally fixed the unification monument at the Mojave Outpost. Just look at the majesty here. How is New Vegas somehow bigger now than it ever was? The Fallout TV show is going all in on New Vegas in its second season. The modding scene is somehow more prolific than ever, putting out some of the best stuff they've ever done in like the last year. And after all this time, the core game, what Obsidian originally built, still holds up, man. It may be practically an entirely new game in 2025 if you go especially nuts with all the crazy modding, but the core experience is still there, and it's still got that special something that just makes the game stand out. There's just a special sauce to Fallout New Vegas that keeps it relevant as a story and as a game. There's just nothing else quite like it. And the modding scene just keeps making it better and better. that's all we wanted to do today. We wanted to talk about New Vegas. It's one of our favorites, and it's a cool way to experience it. Modding can be a little frustrating sometimes, but a lot of fun, and there's a great community to guide you along. So let us know in the comments if you've ever dipped your toes into modding New Vegas, or maybe you've never played New Vegas at all. Maybe you just watched a Fallout TV show. Maybe this will help you out. Either way, let's talk Fallout New Vegas. Hit us up in those comments. And look, if you like this video and you like talking games with us, clicking the like button helps us out. We appreciate it. But we put out videos every single day, so I'll see you in the next one.